Hey neighbor, welcome back to ARTV. My name is John and it's time for a review of the Sophomore album by Camila Cabello. This album is called Romance, and you guessed it, it involves a whole lot of love being in the air. Camila Cabello was known as one piece, the most talented piece, if you ask me, of the girl group Fifth Harmony until she left and became to them what Zayn was to One Direction. The only difference is that she actually seemed interesting with a musical personality that seemed to last beyond just a few songs, and in early 2018 we got a really solid debut album from her. Camila's voice can stray into the range of grating, and songs like Never Be the Same test my sanity with those high notes, but I fell in love with tracks like the tasteful acoustic-based Real Friends and In the Dark. Funny I should bring up Love because it's in the air on her second solo effort, Romance, a sprawling 14-song set that, it kind of feels a bit rushed if I'm being honest. It's risky to bet everything on one running concept or idea for a general theme, especially when it's not a concept album, but Camila went all in on Romance, and let's just say that she didn't exactly clean house, and results may vary. Camila didn't take her music in a terribly different direction. Her roots are still intact with a blend of Latin pop and traditional top 40 material, but what I do think sets her apart is her vocal talent, of course, and a general push for more interesting chord progressions or unexpected cadences in her songs. What puts this Romance on the rocks is the rather wavy dynamic that unfolds as you listen. The ebb and flow feels off. We're either getting a nice smooth sea to sail in, or we're getting thrashed up against the shore where you just want to give up the fight. Not everything falls on Camila as a problem. I could highlight some of the glaring monotonous production that doesn't feel nearly as captivating as her debut, but at the end of the day, we do have to look back to her since it's her love life we're supposed to be invested in. What fans tend to forget about songwriters is that not everything written about has to explicitly be a true story that's pulled from their personal life. Sometimes events can be entirely fictional or daydreamed for the sake of a song, or maybe the truth gets stretched for the sake of the story. I'm not coming down on Camila for writing about her love life. I'm cracking down because, girl, come on! This whole love thing was inspired by you and Shawn Mendes, and I know this seemed a lot more intriguing when I was reading about those juicy details online. Maybe TMZ should have helped co-write this record, because Romance tends to drag on and on without really saying much of anything. When you're writing about love, know that you're exploring a subject that's been written about to death. Like, everything has mostly been said, so you have to make this feel unique to you to actually work. You're in a field that used to be a healthy open meadow with tall, soft grass, but now it's been trampled over so many times by other songwriters that there's maybe a handful of healthy grass roots still intact, and you've still got to manage to plant your garden of love there. Camila occasionally kinda did that. I absolutely see the effort, and there's some really effective tunes like Shameless or The Emotional First Man. But then again, those are the opening and closing tracks. What the hell do we do in between? And why did Señorita just have to be included for the sake of streaming numbers? I don't outright hate that song like so many people seem to, but the more I hear it, the more I want to hate it, if you feel me. Ultimately, we've got to discard anything that we may have expected from Camila the person and hear what Camila the artist has handed down. What I'm trying to say is that if you threw this album on and didn't know that it was an artist that you either loved or admired, then I don't think there's an Ice Cube's chance in hell of this blowing your mind. Romance is generally fine, it's there, it rarely ruffles my feathers to the point of hatred, although Dream of You really tested me with its ultra bland writing style and horribly grating falsetto in the chorus. Where repetition made for catchy jams on her bangin' debut, this just feels like a step down in every way imaginable, and I don't feel a true sense of personality from this batch of songs. Oh, and did I mention that instead of 10 tracks, we're bumped up to 14 songs here? She carried 10 effectively, although there were some minor speed bumps in there, but not only has the wow factor been zapped from thin air, this record is significantly longer, but with so much less to say. Loving you is easy. You really shocked me with your love, boy. I won't ever get this feeling again. I'm content here with you. God, beyond some of the singles, we're really just circling the drain when it comes to lyrical cliches, aren't we? Breath of fresh air. Okay. I did like a few of the songs, so let's talk about those first. Bad Kind of Butterflies is jittery and familiar, but it actually works. The heightened vocals on the hook feel dramatic and captivating, plus that jolting bass creates that edge-of-the-seat sensation. This is something worth coming back to for sure, and it also proves that she's got the good stuff hiding on the top shelf. Guitars serve as the tour guide on Cry For Me, as Camila gets sassy when someone else tries to shoehorn their way into her relationship. Back the fuck up is the takeaway that I felt, and that subdued little growl that slips out when she sings "You're So Good to Her, It's Vicious." I obviously can't emulate it, but it was a great touch, and I really like the vocal layering throughout the track. Liar is decent, and the extra instruments on the song are nice. The chorus is really just made for that dance floor for summer nights, and I also dig parts of Should've Said It, even though it low-key kind of feels like a Santana song. Oh, lawyer, I actually do have a major complaint to file on this one, because I hate when artists curb their swearing, yet put that little sound effect or else a pause in there as a placeholder. Just fucking say fuck. Say you want me now, but you didn't give a back then. That's what she does on this song, and it's irritating as hell. It reminds me of when Ed Sheeran decided not to curse on his records back in 2014, and then Don't came out. With Camila, though, there's literally an explicit song on the record. So why censor yourself here, yet drop an F-bomb on This Love, which is in fact not a Maroon 5 cover? Honestly, a good majority of the rest of Romance is fluff and filler that I really don't care to sit here and dissect. The flaws that I mentioned earlier in the review hold true for those, and I don't feel obligated to sit here and break down track by track what this entire record is, because that would be just as monotonous as some of those songs. However, I do have to give major kudos to the closing moment First Man before I go. Camila is talking to her father about the new man in her life, her lover, but reminds her father that she's with a good man and that her dad will always have a big part of her heart. So well done across the board, not only with the vocals, but also it was very tender without feeling too cheesy, reflective, but not aimless. Probably the best song on Romance, but maybe that's just me. I'm struggling to feel the sting of Cupid's arrow, Camila. Romance may be in the air, but she did a half-hearted job of delivering that fiery passion to the listener. Also, can anyone tell me why the hell Shawn loves it when you call him Senorita? I get that it's a duet, but maybe you should have dropped out for that part, bud. I'm giving this a 2.5 out of 5 for the former Fifth Harmony vocalist's sophomore album. It's a significant step below what she impressed me with on her self-titled album, but it's still not awful by any means. It's just a forgettable collection of tracks lacking in the personality department. Customer assistance on aisles 5 through 10, please. Thanks so much for tuning into my review of Camila Cabello's second album, Romance. Let me know your thoughts on it in the comments section down below, and if you want to check out my thoughts on the first record, then tap this card here. Keep in mind it was all just my opinion. Drop a like on this review, subscribe for the love of music, a couple of other videos floating right here, socials in the description, and I'll see you soon for more on ARTV.